We are back in another exciting Steel Division 2 10 versus 10 today at Oswarno, and we will be Panzer commanders leading the 2nd Panzer Division. Our area of focus is going to be this sector. So initially we will capture the hilltop area here, maintain control over that until reinforcements can make it in, and we will advance on the enemy's position over here. We are going to do a classic pincher move against the enemy, which will be done textbook. So you'll want to check this out. Let's get things started. For our initial line here at the hill, we're bringing in several units of recon. So we have 3 Pumas. We also have a Panzerfaust, a Panzer Shrek team to provide a little bit more anti-tank killing capability. We have several units of Panzer Grenadiers, as well as a 250/8. The enemy is rushing in their own trucks here and enemy tanks. You notice an IS-1 there in the distance. Definitely going to be tough for us to destroy. We did manage to catch these guards out in the open outside of cover, and we're making quick work of them, but we have additional trucks coming up this way. Our PaK-40's unloaded and should be able to, at close range, take out the enemy armor. Unfortunately, the Soviets have called in an artillery barrage on our position. It is just behind us, though, so at the moment, only 1 squad getting damaged heavily, along with a couple of the guys from that PaK-40 team. Our other Panzer Grenadier squads are still in full health, but heavily suppressed. I have brought in a Flak 37 88mm anti-aircraft gun, who can reach 2,000 meters, so we can cover anything coming up the road here. You'll see we can cover and destroy. T-34 here catching our Panzer Grenadiers. You can see into these lightwoods. We do manage to take out the ZIS-2 down the hillside, and our Puma has wounded the loader of the T-34, but not before they got the round off and killed it. Our 250/8's also destroyed. We do manage to take out the M2 heavy machine gun, but our Panzer guns are now being spotted by the enemy's armor and infantry. We've got another Puma reinforcing our position. It would be really bad for us to lose this hilltop, as it's tremendously hard to regain that higher ground, and it will give us a distinct advantage as we advance forward towards the enemy. So out of our initial assault team here, mostly wiped out, just a few men left, but reinforcements coming back in. The T-34 now being spotted by our Flak 37 down here in the field. Another Puma is destroyed. We're still firing at that. Unfortunately, we've been missing those rounds. But the 3rd shot manages to take out the T-34. We still have that IS-1 here we're dealing with. And more guards, Soviet rifle guards with DP machine guns. These Panzer Grenadiers do have 2 MG-42s, which definitely helps out. And that 88mm high explosive shells are pinning these guys down. Once an enemy is pinned in this game, they're basically just going to die off or retreat. So we managed to pin another team here as well. Our heavy machine guns moving into position, and that'll help deal with any additional trucks and infantry coming in. I'm retreating my Panzer Shrek team because he's advancing his guards' rifles, and our Grens are Panzergrens are fully suppressed. Starting to run out of machine gun ammo with the team from the beginning here after about 5 minutes of gameplay. I am bringing in additional squads of infantry, not Panzer Grenadiers, but the Volksdeutsch squads, who are disheartened, but they do still have some pretty decent equipment. More Pumas coming in to take care of these guards' rifles. I think we might still have that IS-1 up, though. We do spot, yep, there he is. We do spot more infantry teams here, and the enemy's called in another barrage on our position. Unfortunately, the new squad is immediately pinned and pushed back. I'm leaving our Panzer Grenadiers out away from this sector where the artillery is firing, trying to retreat this Puma before he's destroyed by artillery. Lots of reinforcements coming from the enemy here. We're just out of view of this IS-1, so our Puma can suppress these guards. MG-42 is stuck here in the light woods alone, as the glint of the sun catching the windshields of these Studebaker trucks. We do have a friendly division who is dropping 50mm mortars in the IS-1, but I've tried the same trick with Shermans, and it just hasn't worked for me. MG-42's team ends up picking themselves up and retreating, so we can save them as we move another squad forward to protect them. Friendly Sturm Pioneers coming in here with flamethrowers here in just a second, and the team that fled is moving back in. If you look in our upper right-hand corner, we're currently at a 17-15, excuse me, an 18-15 in terms of flags, so the Axis team is losing at the moment. Our Puma crew got knocked out by, I'm going to assume, a PTRD shell hitting the side of the recon car, but I don't believe they've been damaged yet. Still looking good over here. Always very impressed by the ability of this team to scale up and down and the quality of the unit models here and the overall game engine performance. So look, we've got 3 squads here fleeing out in the open. That's unfortunate for them because they're just going to get absolutely mowed down. We are taking fire from an Su-85 assault gun hiding in the light woods over here. But, so he might end up taking out our heavy machine gun. There's our artillery spotter in a Jeep falling back now. These guys can have anywhere from 1 to 3 call-ins for off-map artillery, so I'm not sure. He might have a third one coming back in. He does die off, but I doubt it really did much other than show up in the points at the end of the game. So we're getting our line of infantry back in position. Yep, he had 3 here. But he's a little bit off of position from where we're at, so the Volksdeutsch still able to fire while some of our other guys are pinned. More and more trucks of infantry headed our way. And the Puma is spotting someone here, and I believe it's this T-34. T-34 manages to destroy our Puma, but he is damaged, so 1 more shot and he should be knocked out. Our heavy machine gun was knocked out, but we are back to a tie game here. Another T-34 down. So we have a platoon of Panzer IVHs on our right flank, giving us some much needed fire support against the enemy armor. On our left flank, the team's done a great job of capturing 2 additional flags here. The 88 being able to provide some fire support to the advancing infantry. So Things going well on this end. If you take a look at the map in the upper right, though, and look at the green, the right flank is collapsing. Guards continuing to get pinned as they try to move into the forest. And the MG42s and 34s just too much for them to continue advancing. Friendly Grenadiers coming in here. And a Flammenwerfer is headed towards that flag to guard it, but unfortunately he is destroyed by that PTRD. I heard it hit the motorcycle. Second team still up, but probably not for long. So we've got another T-34-76, an Su-85. There's another vehicle over here. We only have one recon vehicle right now. Really need to get some more optics up there to spot. I did bring in a Flak 37 on the right flank to help us with this armor since we have that 2K range. We do have a SDKFZ-7 to move it around. Managed to push off both IL-2Ms. So I'm going to keep shifting him over here to the left, walking, because we had that Su-85 in here, and I'd like to get better cover of the road for his reinforcements. Another 250/8 moving in. These have 20 rounds of howitzer high explosive shells, and their KWK-37L24. Let's take a look around the map while we're waiting for reinforcements to show up. We have not taken command of the other hilltop. In the town, it seems to be a grudge match here. The enemy has made a bridgehead into this other town and captured our flag, and it's almost to the forest flag, so that's not good. They've captured our intersection, and we've got disheartened infantry who don't have machine guns, just rifles. Getting caught out here in the open against MG34s, so things really not looking good for the right-hand side of the map. Most of the work's going to be up to us if we want to win this match. Guards being caught out in the open, not the DP team, so these got to be newer teams. That Su-85 still there. I'm not sure who he's about to fire at. Panzergren's catching another guard team down here in the valley. So it looks like we're dealing with 3 Su-85s. One's out of view, but definitely stuff I'd like to not duel with Panzer IVJs. So Panzer IVJ, I think, is a great medium tank. You have 1,750 meters of range, 55 armored penetrating shells, and 32 high explosives with over 6,000 rounds of machine gun ammo for 65 points. We're gonna use this as an assembly area for our armored force to head forward, so we gotta wait until we get enough points in the game to call in a overwhelming force against these guys. Su-85 is knocked out by our 88 who's moving across here. So far, no additional artillery on our position outside of the 3 call-ins from off-map. MG42 up here in a good defensive position along with the Panzer Grenadier team. And a 6-pounder has been spotted out here who was taking pot shots at the Puma. I had to move him back. We have managed to capture this flag here, barely. Another Su-85. Remember, we got one here. We do have a captured 17-pounder up on the side of the hill, which should be able to take him out. Flak Panzer Brenny firing at this French infantry here, and these things are great. We got 20mm plus an MG34. Can really do a lot of damage to enemies. For some reason, 20mm is not firing. There we go. Maybe it was the angle of the gun here. So another guards rifle team here has been spotted by us. We're using that 75mm howitzer to suppress and get them to fall back. See the smoking wreckage of the enemy vehicles in each of these lightwoods here. I felt like it was safe for us to push the line forward. We're just off this flag, so we just flipped it. And we're now at an 1814. Spotting a 37mm anti-aircraft gun in the woods up here. I'm going to bring in an IG-18 field gun to take him out. It's essentially the same gun that is on this vehicle, I believe. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So in our assembly area here, we've got a full platoon. We have a Panther leader. He's going to take charge of these units here and give them a veterancy buff. So now they're double vetted. And we're going to continue calling in tanks. One nice thing about this game is where you can drop in custom messages. I let the team know I feel like we can run this whole side of the map. I let them know that I'm going to be advancing. Communication's key in any battle. I mean, part of the reasons the Russians took so many losses, they're using flags for communication between their tanks. So since the beginning, the Germans are using radio communications with throat mics. Makes a big difference. So the IG-18, trying to get him. I didn't want the Kerbal wagon to get knocked out, so I'm walking him into position, and we're just going to be in range at 1,500 meters to take him out. Now let's check out that gun. So we've got 2,496 blast. Exactly the same. So all the stats are the same. I'm not sure if it's actually the same gun in real life, but it is in the game. Unfortunately, our Recon half-track is knocked out by a ZIS-2. Enemies trying to recon us now. This time Americans. .250/8, spotting him. Ooh, that was very close to hitting him. Wisely fleeing. Wow, that one was very close. And a Yak 7B firing at our IG-18 does manage to get us with 2 casualties, but he's still alive, fortunately. Personally, playing this game, I haven't had a whole lot of success using the high explosive rockets. Let me know in the comments if you find them useful. I know it gives you that standoff range, so you're not in as close to get hit by anti-aircraft guns, which is nice. Oh, the trade. Man, really thought we had them. Outside of that, though, they never seem to kill things off for me. Maybe I'm using the wrong planes. If you got a favorite close air support aircraft, let me know. I'd like to hear what you think is good. If you've watched me over the last 9 months, I'm not really a heavy investor in aircraft. I just typically find out by the time I'm calling them in, the enemy's anti-aircraft network is heavy enough that I don't find them particularly useful. So I dropped all these beacons to let the team know that I'd be advancing our force of Panzer IVs here. And I'm thinking this is probably enough for us to overwhelm the enemy. I do have a recon half-track here leading the charge, so we don't get ambushed, hopefully, by any anti-tank guns along the way. So we do have an 88. I've moved it up on the hilltop. We can get that range out to 2,000 meters. We've got some light tanks, some medium tanks from the enemy here. We can outrange everything he's got. Unless we see more Su-85s. We should be able to easily knock out the enemy's equipment. Panzergren getting spotted out here in the field. I'd moved up the disheartened team here, but they're falling back as soon as they take fire. 88's now in position. He's firing at these IL-2Ms, though. Team's still not capturing this flag. Definitely recommend them to drop artillery, suppress everyone Russian infantry, and you get them to surrender. Nebelwerfer fire helping us out here from the friendly team. 150s, though, can't say I generally find them super effective. However, they do okay at taking out things like these 37mm anti-aircraft guns, or at least heavily damaging them. IG-18 dealing with the M4. Unfortunately, he gets knocked out as he ran out of heat shells. The Panzer IV is just not able to see through these light woods here, but shortly they'll be knocked down. Panther's spending his time firing at that 37mm anti-aircraft gun. So I've gone ahead and used my prime mover to relocate this 88. There's no reason to leave this in the back. One thing you want to remember to do in any real-time strategy game is to continue moving your equipment forward. There's no reason to leave things out in the back. So the M4 bounces around off our Panzer IV. Definitely could penetrate that, but we get lucky. So our entire force here is untouched at the moment. With defensive line here, I'm confident we could stop any attempted rush unless there's a combined arms assault. So we do run across to this too here. There's only 2 men left occupying it. So the first strike ends up knocking him out. And for some reason that was triple vetted for a second. I don't know if you saw that, and it dropped down to double. I'm not sure why that happened. 37mm anti-aircraft gun is not very accurate against ground targets. So we should be able to easily take him out. We should be able to take him out before he destroys us. He is killed off, so I'm sure we took slight damage there to our half-track, but nothing to knock us out. Friendly teams move their King Tiger into position. So we're going to do a flanking move and try to cut around the woods here, as you can see from my commands. The recon half-track spotting infantry out here, French infantry. And we've got a ME-410A3 with optics flying over the town. We've captured another flag here. So we've got 18 flags to 14. Looks like we just took out one of the recon vehicles. Took out one of their trucks full of infantry, and there's another guy hiding here. And everyone's just going to take fire from us. Moving additional tanks in, and it looks like we've got a rush coming through this center road here, but we've got an 88 looking right down it, and I set up another IG-18 down here. There's an MG-42, we've got a PaK-40, so nothing's going to make it through here. It's just going to be a slaughter. Just hear that MG-42 going off here. We do lose one of our Panzer IVs to the enemy's units. I don't know if it was the Turan II, the T-34, or the Zrinyi, but they go down, and another enemy truck goes down. IG-18 is killed off, but the MG-42 just hosing them down with bullets. Another tank goes down. 88's running out of anti-armor ammo. I'm going to have to bring in the supply truck to reinforce him. So another T-34 knocked out, another squad knocked out, even the disheartened infantry getting in on the action here. And our panzers over here are firing down the line. So we're going to continue moving forward here. now that the enemy's attempted counter-assault was completely knocked out.
Don't shoot.
ME-410 spots a Firefly who could definitely cause us a big headache here. And now the 120mm mortars trying to fall on our position and take out our MG-42, but so far not on target. Take that back. The last one landed directly on us. Spotting a 25mm anti-aircraft gun who's trying to take out our recon plane, but he's easily going to be knocked out since he's sitting in the field. And he goes down. I did bring in some infantry reconnaissance, just a two-man team here. And now he's spotting all this stuff, so he's wisely bringing in recon, but we're going to knock him out right away. And this is just a Tehran 2. And he has heat turned off. Those AP shells probably won't even penetrate any of these tanks at this range. You can take out these trucks, though. So I'm bringing in a Guerrilla. We've got 2,000 meters of range with a 150mm shell, so we can help knock out anything at range from the hilltop here. Enemy attempted to bomb our position, but didn't manage to knock anyone out, just scared everybody. One of our turrets on our tanks got stuck here by an Su-85 that was hiding right there. Firefly takes damage on the first hit, bounces, and we get lucky, bounces the Panther, and is knocked out along with the Cromwell recon unit. So more Cromwells over here. But these are the howitzer Cromwells with that 95mm high explosive shell, and these guys are just going to keep getting knocked out. So at this point, I've got enough units to do my double envelopment, so I'm going to try and circle these guys, but we are fighting a ZIS-2 here. Unfortunately, my guys up here can't spot him at the moment. But the Tiger over here does. And we're in machine gun range now, so hopefully we can knock him out before he does any more damage to our Panzer IVs. Another enemy unit falls to the 88, you can just tell by the sound. And even the Guerrilla getting in on the action there. So friendly teams walking their infantry out in the open like it's World War I, but managing to drive the enemy back. We're at an 18-14 still here, so enemy team could definitely turn the tide. However, we are making sure that the Axis team is continuing to gain ground and flags. More Panzer IVs coming in to build up a bigger platoon here. More guns, always better. And the Tehran 2 is just definitely not going to be good enough to take us down. T-34 leader goes down, but not before he takes out our recon team, which is unfortunate. We did have a bailout on one of our tanks here, but I am going to be bringing in a resupply truck to fix this stuff. More Panzer IVs here. We're in very close, so we could lose one to a Tehran 2 because we're in close. We do. But we managed to jam his gun and knock out the other tank. So we've got one here holding the front line, along with those 88s, and we've got 2 recon vehicles here to help scout out this position so we don't get ambushed. King Tiger getting ambushed by a 17-pounder here. A Panther. I put the attack beacon because we really got to take him out. This guy could wipe out everyone here. So we need to get tons of fire on him. He penetrated my Panther already. One more shot, the Panther's dead, but we have so many guns here, we were able to knock him out. So he is not going to be able to bring armor through this area at all. basically cut off from the forest here, so there's obviously units stuck back here. I'm going to move these recon half-tracks forward. The 250/9s have a 20mm autocannon on them. Unfortunately, they only carry 100 rounds of ammo, so not much ammo, but they still have like 4,600 rounds of machine gun ammo. These guys are pinned down and just taking artillery fire and direct fire from our tanks. So, supply truck in here, fixing up our stuff, getting it mobile again. We'll get this guy fixed too. I don't know if you noticed, I moved the 88 forward so we can help fight off any bombers or close air support planes. Damaged tank just got spotted here. He can't do anything. He's just going to die if we can get sight of him. So we've got a 4th tank coming in here to reinforce this platoon. Friendly team's got a 105 down here on the ground. 6 minutes left on the timer at the current tick rate of 20 to 12. So there we go. We did a double envelopment and we've completely cut the enemy off. And now we can just send in infantry and wipe them out. And the main reinforcement road seems to be here. So we've just got these guys bottled up and just going to continue to get shelled. Now that we have infantry at the reinforcement points, they won't be able to call in any more vehicles or anything from them. So we can keep pushing over with our tanks. But because we've moved these guys up to this point, it's had them recapture this flag, so we'll have to close that back off again. All the infantry just getting stuck here. They're not going to be able to make it into that town because we've got our Panzer IV here. We've got another Panzer IV right here, and another one. They're all getting resupplied. So there are automatikis in here. We're going to be tough to deal with the infantry. And if we want to clear them out, we'll probably take a few casualties. KV-1S leader almost into view here. And he's in for a surprise. He might be able to knock one of us out, though. He's very close. I mean, we're at the 500 meters, so... Unfortunately, he didn't even get the chance to fire his main gun. So... Since our line's over here, I'm moving the Panzer IV up. Normally, this is a bit risky because you can hide Panzer Shrek team in here, Piat team, something like that. But I figure we got 4 minutes left. I haven't taken too many casualties here, and we have a ton of tanks, so let's just have fun with them. I'm just sort of moving all my equipment. I'm leaving this 88 up here, but everything else moving forward. Let's take a look to see what happened on the rest of the map while we wrap this one up. So, we completely lost the right side of the lake over here, but that only gave them one flag. We lost this intersection, but we maintained this one. It looks like heavy shelling there. We lost this flag, but they never made it to the forest. There's nothing really outside of this flag. There's nothing left for them to capture. So because we ended up capturing all of the town, and on the left flank, we just destroyed them. We're at a 22-10. So I don't really have any great close quarter combat infantry in here. I think I might have some Sturm Pioneers, but I was afraid of being in light woods with them. I ended up bringing in Panzergrens and half-tracks just to try and clear these guys out at the end. That one auto team did take out our Panzer IV. The MG-42 I'm moving forward, though, is spotting him, so we've got that 250/9 back here who's throwing fire on this other one. So we should be able to wipe these out. If you look at the map, to the game, they're done. Another recon half-track gets knocked out. Not that we needed to waste any of these at this point, but off-map's going to drop right on these guys. I'm pretty sure those are 300 millimeter mixed in with some 150 millimeter rockets. So we managed to surrender these guys, and if you're in a situation like this, go ahead and put them on the seize command, and they will automatically look for the enemy infantry and clear them out. Once they clear out the area you've designated, they'll go to a hold command and just hold the ground.
Das hat gesessen. Volle Schwarze. Ziel zerstört.
All right, 1 minute to go. Nothing else really changing around here. So I'm just going to fast forward this for you guys because this is kind of boring at this point. So after 37 minutes and 7 seconds, we've captured 22 out of 32 objectives. Taking a look at our team stats here, we did pretty well. 22,705 points to 1,325. Kills wise, our Flak 37 was excellent. Second Flak 37 took out a few. The Panther leader, the only Panther we called in, did a great job. And these Panzer IVs really did well. Even the 250/8. More Panzer IV work here. And so our biggest nemesis seemed to be that IS-1 at the beginning, taking out a few units, and then the rest were just sort of random. So experience-wise, we actually did 14% of the kills in the team, with 10% of the command points and only 8% of the casualties. So I hope you guys liked that one. Leave some comments for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.